It's good to be back. So hey, guess who's back making YouTube videos? Yes, I don't know what to say. I am really sorry about the lapse in videos over the last while, the ending of college and kind of planning out what should happen over the next portion of my life and a few other things has really just taken all my time for a while. But now I'm in the free and clear again, and I'm back, and I'm really hoping to avoid any more significant lapses. So yeah, I am CuriousKey, and welcome to the return of this series. So, first thing you'll notice is I've done a little bit of, kind of growing of trees, and let's just F5 back into first person and give you a little bit of a look. So these trees I've put down quite a few. Tried to place them randomly as I go, but one of the things about the way the eye perceives random trees is no matter how randomly you place them, when you stand in certain positions they will seem to line up in very unnatural ways. But that's more to do with how the human brain deals with pattern recognition than anything else. It's not completely as dense as it's going to be. I'll give you a little bit of a description. See, things like this. This is how dense I want basically all of it to be. So when I come along and I find little clearings like this, when I'm doing like more kind of sapling sweeps, I'll end up like say placing a sapling like here. And so eventually it will, like the majority of the forest, apart from little clearings where I want them, will be like this. So you can kind of see the odd little flicker of the sky through the leaves, but you can't really see much. And later on in this video, I hope I'll get to show you what this looks like at night, because I think it looks really good. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the first real topic of the video, which is we're going to be working on the tower. Now, you can see I've laid down a little bit of an outline for the first bit here. And as you can see, it's kind of cutting in to the template we did earlier, because this isn't really going to be placed down here. This, as I said before, is going to be on the next level up above. It was just to get an idea of the overall shape. So, first things we're going to do is, these skystone blocks cannot be made into stairs. So, for this build, I'm going to be using a lot of forged microblocks, which is an absolute lifesaver. Sorry. So, I'm going to be going around like this, just placing these slabs. Oh no. Okay, see, this is what makes it frustrating to build with skystone, because now I just have to kind of sit here and wait for it to do this. And I was not wise enough, unfortunately, to make a diamond pick before I started the video. I really should have thought to invest diamonds in that, especially as oh god, again. Okay, I'm very sorry. That's just me trying to rush and get everything done quickly. So yeah, this is why I am insane for building with skystone. But I'm stubborn, and once I made the choice, I was like, nope, I'm going to make this work. So we do that. Then we go around with these little guys. And sometimes they'll do that instead for some reason, but we'll go around like this, placing them, and then they actually end up being the same as the stair block. And that suits our needs perfectly. So I'm not sure exactly why it wasn't placed in the full one there, but it just costs an extra one. And honestly, once you're cutting these up with microblocks, because every time you craft one, you just get a straight double because it halves the size. Every microblock craft halves the size of the block you're working with, and so you get 2 for every one. It's a lossless craft, essentially. You end up with an insane amount of stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to go and sleep, but before I do, I'll give you a little bit of a look at what this starts to look like at night. See, just look at this, see? As it gets darker, the fireflies start to come in, and you get this really... Whoop, almost fell into the portal. This really eerie glowing effect, which I really love. And you get the little floating points of light appear when it gets properly dark as well, which can sometimes look a little bit like aura nodes, like this guy here. Oh, and of course, creepers want to come over and say hello. Where's my sword? Should always have it in the hotbar, but when in building mode, often end up wanting to have too many building materials in my hotbar at once. And for me, actually, something that'd be really useful would be actually an extended hotbar mod of some kind. That would be so useful. Or like an item on the hotbar which I could like mouse wheel cycle through, like a little mini hotbar or something. I don't know. That would be really wonderful for me. Now it will see. Yeah, because now it's daytime. I don't need to protect myself. Okay. So we'll get back up here and get on to the next step. So, if you're familiar with what we were doing before, then you'll have a reasonable idea of what we're going to be doing here. So in here, sorry, I didn't clarify that, with the staircase, because there are going to be some synergistic elements in the pattern. Now we're going to be going up 7 blocks, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be the height, so far anyway, of this kind of level. At least that's kind of my plan. You know, it's all subject to change, really, depending on whether I just want to extend it once I actually do it. Oh, I made that one too high by accident, but that will not be an issue. Okay, so we go up like this. And then we get these guys. And we do this. And we do the stairs like that, which is very much like what we did before. Very much like what we did before with the staircase. At least the nether bricks are not as difficult to break. Okay, I'll place some of these guys down and I can hop up onto them. Oh, that's actually not going to let me. There we are. Okay, cool. So we can do this. And I'll show you the next element of my design. Is going to be a little detail. Ooh, lag spike for some reason. Little detail bits like this going around the bottom. So I'm building this a little bit chaotically here just because I want to show you everything. Now, every now and then we'll get a little point like this, which I will be filling in with, I think they're called nooks or corners, depending on the size. The little kind of square cube blocks versions of these. Now, so I get a cleaner texture. These are actually made from the nether blocks, not just the nether bricks, because the nether bricks would look a little bit messy in this form, and I wanted them to just be the color with as little texture as possible, because on these small blocks the texture just doesn't really fit. It doesn't really look like it belongs. Okay, so we know where we're placing these guys. So basically for the each side of every inside corner I'm having one of those little alcoves with the detail. So we'll just do it like this. I love having this jump. It does make some bits of building like that. Although technically, I suppose it could be said that building like that is not very wise because I'm using up loads of hunger, but the strawberries all over the place. It doesn't really matter. It's not as if I'm playing Blood and Bones or anything. Okay, so we're coming along here. Now I've got this up. I'll just quickly do these as well. Now, I'm not going to do the rest of these bits. I'll probably do that off camera. I just want to show you the rest of what I'm doing here. Is I'm going to be placing these along like this. And again, I'll be filling in that corner to make it look better. Just running these along here. And then we get this effect, which I really like. But I'm not quite done yet. Actually, yeah, in this case, this will actually be filled in by this. Because I'm going to be doing this. And now I wonder if I can be really cheeky and just hop up. Hey, I can. Nice. Except it's going to do that. Okay, I'll have to be a bit more careful. Okay. How can I get you? Will I just place some dirt down? Yeah, I'll just do I'll just do the lazy thing. Need to get flight at some point. Of course, for some reason, the actual placing range of the microblocks does sometimes feel like it's a little bit short. I don't know. It does sometimes feel a little on the short side. Oh yeah, here's something I'll mention actually about microblocks for anyone who isn't very familiar. If you're just normally going to place it inside another one where it would intersect, it will just default to making it the next size up the microblock kind of chain for that class of block. So here it will be making, like, I think the pillars from these, which are the posts. But if I hold shift right click, it will let me place it in a way that intersects like that, see? So that can be very useful. Ninja placement. Yeah, ninja. Okay, so I'll get a few of these placed as well. Now let me do this. Actually, no, wait a minute. I wasn't gonna. I'll do that. I derped there. I actually placed it where. So my design is a little bit. I only just figured it out, and it's a little bit complex. So I'm making mistakes. But anyway, no worries really. Okay, these ones are the hardest ones because you actually have to get it pretty accurate. But if I'm holding shift right click as I jump, it shouldn't be able to. Yes, here we are. Getting the trick of it. Okay, there's a lot of little tricks to building these that I'm still kind of learning because I'm very new to it. Now, the one I did by mistake was actually this guy. I did not intend to. I remembered once I actually placed that strip that when I did the design in the creative world, I actually decided that would be not the best. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off these guys so we can have a complete alcove to show you. And so, yeah, so there's this. Yeah, so I'm going on the outside, but I'm not in the middle because I like being able to see that little bit of brick there. Now I'll just tear this out to get that out of the way for us. And if I could snipe these in. Yeah. Okay, and there we go. That's going to be a large part of what the walls around the tower are going to look like. And I am really liking it. I'm liking this design. It came surprisingly intuitively, and I might add stuff to it. I might make it a little bit more complex or change it later on, but so far I'm liking this. I'm liking having these netherrack strips going around the stone. Although I'm a complete and utter new guy to microblocks, so it's entirely possible I'm missing a really awesome thing I could do of these really easily that I just haven't seen because I'm still got kind of like eyes that are a little bit too fresh to see all the tricks you can do with the mod. So if there's any like really cool ideas that I'm just really obviously missing out on, then by all means do point that out. Wait a minute, that was stupid, I just placed that incorrectly. Anyway, I'm going to soldier on and kind of do this all the way around, and I'll show you the finished product, and then we'll get working on the next step. So, I will see you in a minute. Okay, so here we are, and you can see kind of the idea we're going with here. Just coming around here, you can see all the vertical pillars standing up. Or little posts, I should say, standing up, and I'm really liking how it looks. I think I played around of adding more and less detail, and I feel like this is kind of the amount of detail that I want. For example, I tried putting posts up here, but it started looking a little bit too busy. So I think this is pretty much where we're going to be. Little tiny details, like I'm going to add the little tiny notch things in there. But yeah, this is kind of the shape I'm going for. This is kind of the design. And I'm not entirely sure what to do with these end bits yet. I'm kind of playing with the idea of having a window or just having kind of like an arch slowly going out to the points of the second floor, which you can see in the template here. I'm not sure yet. I'll play around with some ideas and see what feels best. I put some little kind of spine-like stuff. At least it looks like a spine and ribcage to me in here in the doorway, just kind of messing around, and I liked it. Not sure what I'll do with it. I might kind of slowly bring it together, like a kind of arched doorway here. I don't know. It's another thing I'm going to need to play with. Now, I was thinking about kind of interior design, transport here, and I think see the kind of interesting shape we've been given here with the positions of the blocks and everything, and these are all kind of needed to be. These are all kind of things that would be visible on the outside, so they're all kind of needed. I've got these kind of awkward spaces here that I'm not sure what I'll do with. I'm not sure if I'll find a reasonable use for them, if I'll just fill them in. I want to kind of find a use for them, though, if I can. But I think I'll use this space here in each point as transportation platforms. Like for probably using the arcane elevators from Thorncraft. I think maybe at the back one here, opposite to the entrance, I'd have it heading upwards. And then on either side, I might have something going down, or maybe staircases going down. Because I've got a bit of room here, as you can see. I can kind of bring a staircase down under and go out without it hitting the outside of the trunk. Part of why I gave myself some room, actually. I wanted to be able to play around with ideas like that. I'm not sure yet. I'm pretty sure I'll go with the arcane elevators and the points, though. It seems to be the most sensible use of the space. Because that's the thing. I kind of came up with this shape before I thought about how it would be practical. Because, honestly, that's how I like to build. I like to come up with an idea and then think about how it's actually going to work. Because if I spend all the time thinking about how stuff's going to work, I find I never build anything interesting. So this is going to be not here. This part isn't too difficult, but I can imagine that later on when I get further up, stuff's going to get quite cramped, and there's going to be a lot of kind of difficult decisions to make things work. But that's part of why it's fun, if you ask me. Oh yeah, and how do I do it again? Yeah, if you look at the map here, a friend of mine pointed out that the stairs and the base have a slight resemblance to the symbol of Slanesh from Warhammer. If you're familiar with it. Yeah. I didn't actually intend that, but now that he pointed it out, I see it, and I do not mind. I actually kind of like that. So I thought that was just a little fun thing I'd point out. Okay, so, next off, it's going to be time to just fill in a little bit of detail here, and what I'm doing is I'm just placing these nether blocks in just to give this a little bit of kind of colourful trim. And I will carry this on all the way around. How am I doing it here? Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's not been done. Okay, so I can't do it there yet. Yeah, so I've got this kind of slight stepped thing because I don't want any of these walls to hit the ground straight. This doesn't look good. Never looks good. Not in a build like this anyway. So I'm going to have it like this all the way around. So, and I handily have a few of these in the inventory. I will be placing them around like this. And I'll need the notch thing for that. Oh god, these things can be so awkward sometimes. Yeah. There we are, yeah. See, they can be really useful, but sometimes they just do not want to behave whatsoever. But yeah, so this is the basic idea. This isn't finished yet. I need to make more of the. I've got some. Okay, I was not checking. That was a bit ditzy of me. I did not realize I had the notches in my inventory. So yeah. Here's the basic idea. I'll come around with these like this, and then come around with trusty old shovel, and just dig out a load of blocks like this. Looks kind of scary, having to look down into the dark pit, which is probably full of hundreds of creepers right now. Luckily they can't get to me. And then fill it up with lovely nether blocks. And yeah, I'll do this, and then I will play around with some ideas for the inside of the tower. Oh god, it's getting dark. Okay, time to go and sleep. And there's quite a lot to be done there before because I don't really have a complete concept yet of what I want to do. As usual, I'm going to just throw stuff down until I find something that I like. So, I feel like this is actually gonna be it for now. Because at this point I feel like this next bit's gonna be a fair amount of work, so it's probably better if I cut here and show you guys what I'm doing once I've got some kind of idea. Whoops, sorry there, had a little bit of a recording glitch, it just stopped on me. So, yep, I'm gonna stop here and do some work, figure out what I'm gonna do with the shape of the inside, do a little bit of Thorncraft stuff so I've got some elevators to play with, and start thinking about what to do on the second floor. And I might, for a bit of variety, start thinking about some designs for routes as well. Although I might leave that till later. I'll see what feels best. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. And again, I'm really sorry about the huge delay. I think it's actually been 6 weeks, hasn't it, since my last video. And hopefully it won't be happening so badly in the future. Now I've got so much more time on my hands, so there shouldn't be much of an issue. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.